DuckTales Remastered is the rebirth of one of the most classic NES games of all time, one that would define licensed games for years to come and set a gold standard for retro platformers. Due to the cooperative efforts of Capcom, Disney, and developer WayForward, their once forgotten franchise is now alive and well, albeit with changes both welcome and jarring. True to the source material, DuckTales features a relatively low-key story, and one that doesn't amount to much more than an already rich Scrooge McDuck wanting to become even richer. The main cast members from the cartoon reprised their roles, or at the very least, the producers found people who sound exactly like them, and it really feels like a fun, albeit average episode of the show. Gameplay is very similar to the NES original, as Scrooge only has one piece of equipment, his cane, which is capable of pogo jumping and interacting with the environment. Platforming is tight, with the option to use a simpler pogo setup if desired, and I had very little issues getting Scrooge to do what I needed him to do, especially since the cane physics are faithfully preserved in this version. While the spirit of exploration is still present from the original, a few unnecessary changes make certain levels feel like a bit of a chore. Chief among these are the game's frequent and often lengthy cutscenes that can often throw off the pacing of the game, especially in a few stages. Boss fights are completely reworked and are a bit of a mixed bag. They generally offer some fun moments, but they can suffer from a bit of needless padding on occasion. DuckTales Remastered has some of the most gorgeous sprite and background work I've ever seen in a game. It's no secret that real Disney animators had a hand in this restoration, and it shows almost immediately from the first few seconds of gameplay. But all that glitters isn't gold, as the foreground and non-animated objects are comprised of dated graphics that really make you wonder why they didn't go the extra mile. Renowned video game composer Jake Vert Kaufman has done a great job of updating the old school tunes of the original and keeping them relatively true to that classic 8-bit feel. Although the voiceovers could have used a bit of editing, hearing Alan Young perform the role of Scrooge McDuck in his 90s is incredible, and something that will fill any DuckTales fans' hearts with joy. If I have one complaint with the soundtrack, it's that they perhaps played it a little too safe, and gamers who have no experience or love for the original score might find the tunes a bit antiquated. DuckTales Remastered has a few rough edges, but overall it captures the magic of the original in a big way, and all the while it brings in more influences from the show than the NES game ever did. Provided you can put up with a few questionable design choices and a lighthearted presentation, any platformer fan will feel right at home with DuckTales.